Welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Joe. Today we're digging into what a record corporate budget and a hot optics startup tell us about the AI build-out. With me is James, our markets analyst. Remember, if you have questions as we go, you can ask us at stockalpha.ai.
Great to be here, Joe. Thanks for having me.
So, the real question here is, Alphabet just pushed its capital spending guidance way higher. Tell us the scale and why everyone suddenly cares.
Alphabet raised its 2026 capital expenditure guidance to a range of $195 billion to $205 billion, about $15 billion higher than it had flagged a quarter earlier. In the second quarter alone, it spent $44.9 billion, roughly double the year-ago quarter, leaving it at about $78.6 billion for the year through June. Those are corporate infrastructure numbers that matter.
Interesting.
I mean, when you look at the data, Google Cloud revenue grew about 82% year over year to $24.8 billion. And the cloud backlog is now around $514 billion after adding more than $50 billion in a single quarter. That backlog is what underwrites all this spending.
Right. At the same time, we had Lumilens, a photonics startup, hit a multi-billion-dollar valuation in private markets. How do those two things link up?
They are the same story, really. The hyperscalers are budgeting billions to expand AI compute. Private capital looks at that and asks, who builds the parts that make that compute work? Photonics companies like Lumilens build optical interconnects that move huge amounts of data between chips. A reported valuation of $3.6 billion signals that investors see a near-term ramp in deployments, and that matters for the component supply chain.
So what's the actual bottleneck? Is it chips, fabs, or something else?
The bottleneck has shifted away from chips and money to optics and the physical supply chain. For hyperscale AI, the constraint is moving data between GPUs and accelerators. Copper can't handle the densities and power envelopes required. Photonics, think 800 gigabit and 1.6 terabit transceivers today, and near-package or co-packaged optics next, is the technology that scales. That means lasers, transceivers, silicon photonics, and optical interposers become the limiting factor. POET fits into that chain as a supplier of the layer beneath the module makers. Their optical interposer platform aims to make modules cheaper, faster, and more energy efficient. Reports suggest a strategic collaboration with Lumilens, including an initial purchase order of $50 million under a framework that could be worth up to $500 million, with engineering samples targeted for late 2026 and a production ramp in 2027.
Right. So timing and execution there are critical.
Exactly. POET reports earnings on August 12th. So the market will be listening for progress on engineering samples, spending on manufacturing scale-up, and any update on fulfillment capacity. Management has already said capacity is a near-term constraint, so investors will want specifics.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Also, take the market reaction in context. Photonics names moved right after Alphabet's guidance bump, small overnight gains in several optics suppliers, but the group has been volatile all year. Some names like Applied Optoelectronics and Lumentum are up roughly 200% and 125% year to date, while POET has lagged, up about 20%. That gap sets up the narrative about re-rating the component layer under the module incumbents.
Short reaction.
Volatility and rotation are normal. Money moves between leaders and laggards as each earnings print lands. But the underlying build-out is a multi-year story driven by hyperscaler budgets, not daily tape action.
So for listeners trying to make sense of this, what should they watch next?
Watch hyperscaler capital expenditure guidance across the next few quarters. Follow engineering sample timelines from photonics suppliers, and pay attention to manufacturing scale-up and fulfillment commentary. Those items tell you whether the physical supply chain can absorb the money being budgeted. Also remember, Analysts note that this is industry-level analysis and not personalized advice.
Great. Before we wrap, can you give us 2 or 3 quick takeaways?
Sure. 1. Hyperscaler budgets set the ceiling for this cycle, and that ceiling just moved up. 2. The real bottleneck for AI at scale is the optical layer, not chips alone. So photonics and optical interposers are in the path of that spending. 3. Watch execution, engineering samples, manufacturing scale-up and fulfillment, because they determine who benefits as budgets turn into installed systems.
Excellent. If you have questions about anything we discussed today, you can ask us directly at stockalpha.ai. We answer listener questions live. And for more market insights, head over to stockalpha.ai. Thanks, James.
Thanks, Joe. Great talking through it.